Hello, it is Creature, and today I have a question for you. Do you like running around in a wasteland trying to survive off of what barely measly little scraps you can come across, subsisting off of the dew of the burnt, ash-covered grass? If so, play Fallout, because this is State of Decay 2. Story. If you've seen any zombie game, played any zombie movie, then you know exactly what's going on. Zombies have come in, fucked everything up, society no longer exists, the army is nowhere to be seen, and you and a little group of survivors have to survive on your own. There is no set objectives or set story. Instead, you are kind of given carte blanche to do whatever you want to do and achieve your goals however you want to achieve them. However, you should make note of the plague hearts that are kind of spawning in your area and take them out as quickly as you can, because those things spawn plague zombies, and plague zombies, well, let's just say they really fuck up your day pretty quickly. Now, gameplay. The gameplay in this game, it's pretty good. It's somewhere in between a city management sim and a sandbox game. Now, whenever you load up this game, you may be thinking to yourself, Creature, this game looks like shit. I mean, I have to run around and collect all these goddamn resources and then run them back, and I can only have one rucksack at a time? What am I, gay? And to that I say, get a car. Because if there's anything that Islamic terrorists have shown us, is that the best way to mow down shambling people is with a vehicle. I can't say that. Cars in this game are a must-have because they allow you to have a lot more storage space and allow you to kill hordes of zombies with relative ease, and sometimes you'll kill a horde of zombies and not even know that you did it. However, I will say that using your car as your main weapon in killing zombies is useful at first. Then you start to realize there's smoke coming out of your engine, and then you start to realize that smoke has now turned into fire, and then you realize that your car is about to explode, and then you realize that all those resources you spent all that time grinding for have blown up and been incinerated by the fireball that was your vehicle. You can also repair and upgrade your cars, but sadly the only place you can get upgrades is through the mechanic faction, I think, and they don't like me after I recruited one of their femboys to my faction.
Wish you had room for everyone.
The best way to show you this game, in my opinion, is to actually show you this game, so allow me to show you this game. I feel as if the best place to start off would be to show you my faction. We are set up more as a feudal system, if you will, where what you're wearing kind of decides your class. At the top, we have Ace dressed in blue, and he is our leader. He's a warlord type leader, but more on that later. He is noble, resilient, ingenuitous I think is the right word, and strong. The man has taken out many juggernauts and plague hearts all on his own, thus earning himself the name of Strongest Lizard. Up next, we have the Greens. Our Greens are our warrior class. They are hunters, they are survivalists, they are resourceful, strong sharpshooters. They are the ones who go out into the wasteland, kill zombies, destroy juggernauts, and keep the undead at bay. They are the backbone and contributing members of society. They bring back resources for the betterment of the entire community as a whole, and they are the ones who generally make up the majority of the faction. Up next, and last and most least, we have the Oranges. The Oranges are the Luddites of our community. They are not skilled in any sort of fighting. They may or may not have some sort of technical skill that will be useful at home, but as a society that values strength over everything else, these lowlifes act only as bodies and labor for everything else that needs to be done. The Oranges simply lay about the base and do nothing to contribute besides maybe having a construction project here or there. But in reality, all they do is suck up resources and act as the lazy lowlifes that they truly are. Now you may be asking yourself, If you are a true feudal society, then how come you have more serfs than warriors? Well, the answer to that is very simple. In State of Decay 2, you need to constantly be switching out who you're playing as. And because of this, you need to have more useful members of society rather than bodies that can be used in case of an invasion and are mostly useful as a meat shield. In State of Decay 2, your people will get tired and start to compound injuries, and because of that, they need to spend some time in the infirmary resting, as they have actually earned that rest. It is also useful to have many different fighters, as you can make groups to go out and increase your chances of survival, as well as carrying capacity by another rucksack, which is extremely useful. Now let's get into the biggest choice that you're going to have to make in this game, which is deciding who should be your leader. And I have gone forward and made that choice a little bit easier for you. There are 4 different types of leaders. There's Builder, Trader, Sheriff, and Warlord. 3 of these leadership types are useful, while the other one is you essentially are a femboy cuck if you choose it and decide to go the route of peace, where you give away all of your resources for essentially free and to have people like you even more. If you can see, I have listed all 4 leadership types under either useful or non-useful right in front of you, so please just take a moment to reflect on which one you would like to be. A quick generalization or breakdown of each one of the leadership types is: with Warlord, you essentially believe in strength and peace through strength and peace, so in order to achieve that, you decide to have big-ass fucking guns. It should also be noted that Warlord has access to a fucking aerial strike that you can call upon whenever you want for a very small influence cost. More on influence later. The next leadership type is Builder. Builder essentially believes that the best way to survive the apocalypse is to turtle up and never leave your base. So, a lot of Builder stuff are based on having your own water generation as well as power generation, as well as a lot of food production so that you no longer have to scavenge out in the wastelands. In my faction, we reject these modern ideals of agriculture and instead embrace the traditionality of hunter-gatherer. We no longer see the need to waste space with food production whenever we can simply go out into the wasteland and gather the food ourselves. That land can be better used for ammo production, gun repairs, as well as barracks in order to house our people. Reject modernity and embrace traditionality. Next, we have the Sheriff. Sheriff essentially believes in peace and order through strength as well as law. So, the Sheriff is much more predisposed to be friendly with other factions and seeks to assimilate them all instead of choosing the strongest. Being part of a warlord faction, you can surely see where that goes whenever you have a couple of weak Luddites leeching off all of your resources. But to each their own, I guess. Lastly is Trader. With a Trader, you waste a lot of your space in order to build facilities for others to come by and sell you shit for highly overmarked prices, while they will only buy your stuff for extremely low prices. It's essentially you're giving away your resources for free. Oh, and I should also mention, you have to do a bunch of quests for the other faction where you give them your resources for entirely free. In State of Decay 2, the general currency is influence. You gain influence by killing zombies, destroying zombie hordes, killing juggernauts, as well as screamers and hunters. You also get it by bringing back resources, and you gain it by building new facilities. So, in my own interpretation of this, it seems that influence is gained by being the most productive members of the new society. Influence is mainly used for trading with other factions, but it can also be used to establish outposts that can give you something useful, such as extra ammo per day or food or whatever resource per day. It can give you access to constant power generation and mood buffs, or it can be something completely useless, such as 2 extra beds or no bonuses at all. But every single outpost you have gives you access to your community's entire stockpile of resources. This allows you to drop off any random little bits of junk that you found while scavenging without having to go all the way back to your base. It should be noted that you cannot drop rucksacks off at outposts, and you do have to bring those all the way back to your base. Influence can also be used to upgrade and move bases, which is a very useful thing, as if your community starts to grow, you're going to need to find more living space. And to get your new Lebensraum, you will need to find larger areas that can facilitate the growth of your community. So you may need to go and kick out others because you need that Lebensraum for your people and not for the unwashed hordes. Every leadership type gets its own unique kind of building slots. For instance, as a warlord, that can be an armory where you can construct every single ammo type without having to have certain facility mods, or a Spartan barracks, which can completely, in a very small area, house 8 people, or it can be something like a rain collector or an upgraded sniper tower if you're a builder, and so on and so on. So each leadership type does have its advantages. It also should be noted that, as far as I can tell, there are 4 different areas, and I don't necessarily know if they're randomly generated or if they're procedurally generated, but regardless, there is a solid bit of replayability whenever it comes to starting new communities. And whenever you do start a new community, if you have completed all of the leader quests for your old community's leader, then he will be available to be picked up and used in a new community. And once you finish up leader quests and kill all the plague hearts in an area, you'll gain points that can go towards unlocking Red Talon blueprints that essentially will give you a huge bonus for any new outpost. All of these Red Talon blueprints are essentially leader-specific blueprints that are now available to everybody else. So that is pretty useful and does make it kind of interesting if you want to be a soy boy cuck trader who also has access to a huge armory and aerial strikes. In the end, I'll give this game about 3 Screamer Hordes over a Juggernaut. So, there you go. I do like this game, and I have enjoyed it so far, and I do plan on playing it even more after I get done with this video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.